Okay, so in this episode, we actually found some things that didn't have definite answers. Now they seem to kind of have definite answers. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for season 14, episode 8 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like I said, this episode kind of completed some things. Literally, it completed them. Sonya and the baby dilemma, and then also Drew and the business dilemma. And we thought we got to the bottom of the Drew Sonya thing, but not so much. Anyway, listen. So we start right off with Sonya having a conversation with her sister, and her sister is basically, she told her, no, please, please do not have another baby. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Now remember, all of them are there. You have two families basically in this one house. And I was just not understanding, because she's going on and she's this constant crying about how she's not getting the support that she feels like she needs. But I think it's like she's kind of putting 20 on 10. Because I know you're not telling me that you got your mother and your father, your sister, and all of her family and her husband, and everybody's in this house, and you got one baby. And nobody's willing to help you out with your one baby while everybody's living in your one house. That doesn't make sense to me. So it really sounds like Sonya wants Ross there with her, but Ross is trying to deal with this business that they have in another state. And so nobody's really like pissing around or playing around or anything. It just doesn't sound, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. I think she wants to have her family unit there. She just wants her husband there is all I'm getting out of it. That's all I'm getting. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. But anyway, so she's kind of like chilling, and she ends up talking to her mom, and she has her mom help her with dinner. And the baby, and then she sits down with Ross. He comes in and they talk about this baby situation. She got all dressed up and she's sitting there talking to him, and she's over there busting out crying. And baby, that cute as he is, hey, that thing was not budging. He was not budging. And she said, I just don't think I want to have another baby, and this is the reasons why. And he's like, not trying to hear it. And she says, well, if I decide not to have another baby, would you resent me for that? And he's like, I can't say that I won't. I said, oh. Literally just not budging. I was like, wow, okay. So that's pretty much that. I don't know what they're going to do with that. And he was explaining to her, like, I'm not off playing around. I'm working. I'm doing work. You know, it just kind of is what it is. But he just wasn't, like, he wasn't budging. That was kind of like problematic for me too. Like, he just wasn't budging. I don't know. That's weird for them. I hope it's just a storyline, because that's kind of weird. Anyway, moving on. Child, that whole thing, that being a deal breaker, I couldn't see all them people in that house. That would be the deal breaker for me. But you know how I am. Anyway, moving on. Sheree, Marlo, and Candy meet up at this spa, and they're going into the sauna. Candy gets there late naturally, and they're like, she like, I ain't getting in the sauna. I'm not doing that. I got somewhere to go after I leave with y'all, and I'm not about to get my hair done, my hair messed up. So they're like, oh, come on, Candy. This, that. She's like, man, close that door. I can hear y'all fine out here and talk to y'all while y'all sitting in there. Now, I could kind of feel there was a thing going on. There was like an elephant in the room. So they get started. And Sheree's going on into this thing of how she doesn't feel like Candy's been being a good friend to her because Candy didn't reach out to her and this, that, and the other. And Candy's trying to convey to her again, I didn't want to just reach out to you because then it feels like I found out your business somewhere again in the streets and you had a whole issue about being discussed. And I thought you're just trying to avoid that whole thing. But this is a catch 22. It don't matter. You're going to catch it from her no matter what. Marlo starts throwing in this, Candy, you can't be that way. I'm a foster child. And no, you are an old ass woman. What is you talking about? I'm a foster child. So you want to pull the displaced card. Girl, stop. Candy was like, Marlo, stop. And she kept going on. And I think at one point, Candy just felt like these two was playing in my face. And she got upset. She said, she's like, I try to give time to my friends. I try to designate my time, through my friends and that. Even my family doesn't feel like they get enough of my time. I don't know what to do. I'm spread it as thin as I can be. I'm trying to do all of that, and it gets frustrating. And they just ain't taking no for an answer, and they're going on. Next thing I know, Candy just snapped out, child. I said, well, she went to crying and then snapped out on their asses. I said, oh my God. I said, okay. This is really, because the thing is, it really ain't that deep for neither one of them. You all upset. They don't really care. They really poking and prodding and nudging at you. And then you done snapped out. So now they trying to hug her and all this stuff. I was like, see, that's a mess right there. I said, y'all playing, and y'all going to end up at the point of no return playing with her because she ain't taking what y'all doing. Y'all started to irritate her as opposed to, I don't know what y'all trying to do, really. And it's more Marlo. And we found out later on. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. It's more Marlo, and it's more like Sheree is being the lapdog and following behind Marlo. I just don't see it turning into nothing good. Moving on. Marlo is sitting with the boys and cleaning and showing them basically how to tidy up the store and all of that. And the one was like, I don't like this. And she, which I thought was very smart, where she twisted it around and turned the whole thing around like, you're not really doing this for me. You doing this because I'm trying to show you something here. And she asked them, would you all keep the business going when I'm gone? If I'm not here anymore, would you all keep this business going? Like, I'm trying to do this literally for you all. And, you got to know how it runs and how it works and all of that stuff. And then when I'm not here anymore, you'll always still have this. Would you actually keep it going? And I think they actually got it, and they're like, oh, well, yeah. And then they start cleaning and shut down. And she spoke about what her first job was, that she actually worked at McDonald's. And they're like, the little boy said, oh, everybody worked at McDonald's. I know when I was younger, it used to feel like that. And I always, that was one of my facts, I'm never working at McDonald's. Never. And not that there was anything wrong with working at McDonald's. I never felt like I had the skill set to work at McDonald's. And at 50, I still don't. That's just not my forte. Serving food to people is just not my forte. I will cook anything. I'll cook whatever it is. I will do it with my church. I will cook whatever they ask. I will cook whatever it was. Turkeys, hams, dress it, whatever. I'll cook it and I'll bring it, but I ain't standing in the line serving. That just is not comfortable with that. And I just, that just ain't my thing. So I know fast food would have never been my thing. What do? This. Or I'm sewing something or something. That's what I do. Me serving food to the public, nope, not my thing. So I just gotta laugh. Especially when he said it just took me way back. I'm like, I felt like that when I was your age too. Everybody worked at McDonald's. Not me. Anyway, then we found out that they actually have an older sister that lives in a different state. She's 27 years old. And, you know, naturally with that age difference and whatever goes on with her mom, and it's not their mom. That's not, you know, their mother is not her mother. They don't see her very much, the older sister. So, anyway, she ends up telling them, you know, I think she's actually going to go and see your mom. So that's probably like a good thing. And so they were like, oh, okay. So yeah, everything was cool with that. Moving on. Then we had a little scene where Candy, Kenya, and Monyetta Shaw actually got together to go to this candle making thing. And that looked like fun. Because I was like, first I thought they were building the fragrance, but they were building the fragrance to go inside of the candle. And I'm looking at it, and I'm laughing at how my friend Fifi makes candles, and I'm looking at how they were actually doing. I'm like, I can see why she kind of likes doing that. It looks very interesting, and it looks like it would be really relaxing and enjoyable how they were putting these candles together with these scents. I was like, oh, it's kind of groovy. But anyway, so they were doing that, and the conversation came up where Candy said, you know, it feels like Marlo is working on a little hate campaign. Like she's trying to drive different people to hate me, and it's like a character assassination type of situation. I said, see, that explained the angst and what her attitude was when they were at that spa. If she's feeling like that, I can see how she ended up getting to that point that she was at with that. I was like, oof. At that point, they talked about Drew's invite, because Drew had actually invited everybody to come to at a day event that she was having with the Drop It With Drew thing. So she invited Monyetta, and Monyetta's like, oh, absolutely, I will definitely go, and you know, and represent for her. And they talked about the vibrating panties thing again, and they got into like a heated exchange, which was Candy and Kenya. And Candy's like, I just don't see how you think it's such a big deal. Just remember, you're the one who actually said that I could get it. Like we could have sex. If there was anybody you had to choose out of the group to get down with, it would be me. And you said that in front of Todd. Like, so why is it all of a sudden you're so prudent about this vibrating panty game situation? It just doesn't make sense. And they going back and forth, and they were getting heated. And then, you know, once they were done with it, they were done with it. And Candy, you know, was like, this is the difference between me and Marlo and Sheree. Me and Kenya will do it all the time. We'll disagree about stuff, and we, you know, we very passionate, and we'll talk, but we don't fall out. We talk, and then when we're done with that, and then we move on to the next thing. We're friends. And she's like, and it's not like that with Marlo. It's like it comes back later, then there's all this other extra stuff, and that was that. I was like, well, I mean, y'all are not friends. Y'all, I mean, it really is what it is. Y'all, that's a different kind of friendship. Getting that passionate about stuff and yelling and screaming at each other. I don't yell and scream, me and my bestie, but I don't do that. Yelling and screaming. Like, what? So if he started yelling and screaming at me, honey, I'll be looking at him. What is you doing? You see what our relationship is. Spoiled, not so much. Spoiled, not so much. But I don't yell and scream at him either. You know, because he ain't going for that. He would be looking at me like, no, bitch. Really? I don't know. We just don't have all that. That's crazy, crazy talk. I mean, all that hollering. I don't know about yelling and screaming. Anyway, I love him. I wouldn't be yelling and screaming at him. I wouldn't do that. Wouldn't be yelling and screaming in his face. And he wouldn't go for it. So ain't no need to start it. He wouldn't go for it. Anyway, so Candy, you knew they were all right, because I was like, well, are y'all all right? Because I'm looking at Candy's face. Her face was, you know, Candy, but her face all twisted up. But then she cracked this joke, and I said, oh, yeah, they okay. Because she said to Kenya, she said, this is my candle, when they brought Candy's candle back. Oh, because she said, Kenya said to Candy, don't throw that hot candle wax on me, Candy. And Candy's like, I would not do that. Like, why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. So she kind of laughed, and the lady took the candle wax away from Candy, finished her stuff, brought it back, and then she said, here, smell it. She said, oh, yeah, I like the way that smells. She said, now, she said, what's the candle smell? She said, it's called Candy's pussy. See, you finally got a chance to smell it. And they start laughing. So I said, okay, yeah, they're good. But that Candy, I said, girl, you so nasty, child. Oh, you're so nasty. Anyway, then let's move on to the drop it like Drew. Drop it, not drop it like Drew, because that's stiff, honey. Drop it. Drop it with Drew. And then, Chade was dragging her. Honey. They was dragging Drew. I said, oh, y'all just ain't gonna let poor Drew live. That's just it. Y'all just are not gonna let poor Drew live. They get there and they're like, child, look, honey. Because it's basically, it's not her actual spot. It's a gym spot that they kind of rented out for the day. I'm like, I don't see the big read. Whatever, y'all. So, her and Sonya actually, they embraced and everything was really cool. Like, you know, because Sonya was like, I'm going, I really want to fix this thing with Drew. Because I don't want to be fighting with Drew. You know, this, that thing, and the other. So, then Sonya comes in, everything's fine with her and Drew. And then she is talking to Ralph. And she's telling Ralph about the little stuff about Ross. Because Ralph and Ross actually hit it off. They don't have any problems. It's always that way. The men end up getting along, and the women is just a damn mess. But the men, all the husbands generally really do get along. And, you know, in most of these shows, the husbands, you know, they if they stay out of the mess, they get along. Peter never would stay out of the mess. That's why Peter would have little faux pas. But most of the time, like, you don't see Todd falling out with people, and you wouldn't see Greg. Everybody loved Greg. Man, we all love some Greg leaks. The viewers, the rest of the cat, everybody loves some Greg leaks. Period. That's just the way it was. You know, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And that's how we be. But anyway, so she's telling Ralph and all that, and Ralph was like, well, you know, y'all, you know, we got 3 kids, and you just kind of make it work and stuff. So he's like, you know, just don't think that you can't do it. You really can do it. You just got to make it work. That goddamn Sonya and her shady behind gonna turn to her and gonna say, you know, y'all act like y'all be busy. I said, oh, I said, girl, did you just ready right down in his face? I said, shady. You shady, Sonya. Girl, you a piece of work. Like you said, girl, this is not my first race or my first time around the track or whatever you say. That's shady when you first come on, girl. You a hot mess. Anyway, there was this whole little situation where Candy and Todd, when they were just getting everything together, and they was getting ready to start up to another little Marlo, Candy, Sheree banter, and it was like, shut up. And they're like, we ain't doing this now. We're not going to mess up her event. So let's get ready to get started. Todd's phone rang. Candy was standing there, and Todd's like talking, and they're like kind of looking, what's going on? And he's like, get your stuff, get your stuff. So they grabbed their stuff. Child's like, oh, what's wrong? What's going on? And everybody was like that. He's like, what's going on? They go running outside. Some damn fool done jumped the fence, the security fence, at Candy's house, and then come and goes and sitting on the porch. Candy's 2 youngest ones, Ace and what is the baby girl's name? Oh, that's terrible. I can't think of the baby's name. But the 2 youngest one, Ace and the baby girl, are there with their girlfriend, and she's babysitting. And it kind of started her. It's a male, and they're like sitting on the porch and stuff. And she actually had an exchange with him at the fence, and she had told him, we found that out later, told him, you got to go away or whatever. And she went back to the house, and he climbed the fence and gonna come up on the porch. Like, child, that's how you get blown away. That's how you get blown away. So they end up calling the police and everything like that. Candy and Todd end up having to leave. They left and stuff. And get there, and it was so crazy. I don't know we ended up later on seeing some footage of what actually happened. Some of the footage. And he was a fool. Do you understand me? He told me, I'm Beyonce's family, and I was told, and I'm a songwriter, I was told by Candy Burris to come here. And the girl, the girlfriend of Candy and Tulsa was like, no, go away. They're not here. Candy doesn't live here. So just go away. He just ain't taking no for an answer. Jumps over the thing, all of that. And then I'm like, see, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. This whole people on social media, no matter what size you are, because I'm a smaller person on social media, but I've had my own dealing with a fool or two. Fools. Do you understand me? Taking pictures of your house and your car and all kind of stupidness I've actually had to deal with. So on that level, it ain't, you know, it's real in the field, okay? So yeah, that's the best. But jumping over fences and telling lies and carrying on, that's how you get blowed away. Now keep on. Keep on with that dumb stock and stupid stuff. And then I didn't understand. I said, I don't know, was it really smart to put this fool on the show? Because did that send the wrong message? Like, all you gotta do is stock Candy and you'll make it on the show? Don't go get blowed away jumping over Candy's security fence, y'all, with that dumb stuff. Sit your ass down. Woo, a mess. Anyway, back over at Drew's event. Marlo and Sheree were dragging. They tried to do this exercise. I don't know what the hell Drew was doing. She rolled over on her back, threw her feet up. I said, girl, she don't look like a can of sardines, honey. It was a mess. They was dragging her. And when Sheree said, she looked like a busted can of biscuits, I said, oh, stop it. Stop it. Sheree did some really good, smart She by Sheree marketing. She had her little mat. She had her little water bottle. And she had on a pair of her She by Sheree joggers. Not joggers, but workout pants. They were cute. They were cute, and all the girls seen them, and they were like, they were really sincere. Like, girl, no, I want to get me some of that. Yeah, I want that. The little mat was really cute. The stuff was cute. You did good now, Sheree. Now just keep it up. Come on and get this stuff out. I'm actually tired of people clowning Sheree about what it is. Listen, it's not that hard, really, to get a line of activewear out there if you actually have the money and the backing, and she has an actual space by which to push it. This should have been money that was in her purse a long time ago. A long time ago. Like this Drop It With Drew fiasco that's going on. Sheree, like, come on, Sheree. This should be you. You said it yourself. This should actually be you. Because you got all the goods. And you actually got the body that says She by Sheree, She by Sheree activewear, and girl, you a walking billboard. Whereas y'all biggest issue with Drew is that she don't look like Drop It With Drew. She looked like Drew dropped it all right and picked up a Big Mac. That's what y'all keep on dragging her about. And then she doing the exercises, look like she rolling in mustard sauce like a sardine. It just, you got all the goods. All you got to do is come on through. Don't worry about no Tyrone. Stop pissing around with Marlo trying to piss off Candy. She by Sheree. She by Sheree. She by Sheree. Get your money, girl. Fill up your purse. Quit playing. Anyway, if it had been Kenya, Kenya would have been had it moving on by now. Kenya don't be playing around. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so then they end up meeting Jackie. Jackie is the woman. Here we go. When I told you we got to the bottom of this whole Drew business. Drop It With Drew was actually called 20-Day Fitness something or other. It had a whole new name, a whole other name. This is Jackie's business. Drew is the face of the business, and they just changed the name to Drop It With Drew. She's been doing this for 5 years, period. Drew put 20 on 10. She kind of fabricated to push it forward. This is not her business. She's the face of the business. She is the spokesperson for Drop It With Drew. Period. This is Jackie's business. And that's all the girls really wanted. They nosy and they shady, and they wanted to get to the bottom of it. They finally got to the bottom of it. She's the face. Jackie is the business owner. It's been over 5 years. She got other places all over that she's been doing a really good job with this business. And the connection is she didn't have any business in Atlanta, and Drew is the Atlanta piece of it. That's all. That's all that it is. Moving on. And it's okay. It's okay. But Drew put 20 on 10 and tried to make it sound like she created this business from the ground up, and that was a lie. Moving on. Monyetta ends up speaking up for Candy when Candy's not there in this conversation between the girls. And then Kenya actually took it up. It was the whole charade, with the feelings toward the charade and the Marlo thing. Well, Lord have mercy. Kenya takes it up, and Kenya just drove the knife in, okay? She told Marlo, listen, it is what it is. I don't nobody want to hear how you think Candy ain't a good friend and this, that, and all that old mess. It's just that she don't fuck with you. Period. Child, that hurt Marlo's feelings. You can see it on her face. It hurt her feelings. And when I tell you she started blasting Kenya and dragging Kenya, she'll tell her, honey, well, what about Mark? What about your fake booty, honey? Why can't you keep a man, honey? Why are your hips messed up? Why are your lips fake? Why you got bad makeup? Well, I said, totally unnecessary. Because she was firing at Kenya to the point it got really heated. And then Kenya was like, get out of my face. I was like, oh, God, here they go. So they breaking them apart. The people that was part of the situation were like laughing at them like, look at these hoes. Embarrassing. A mess. Anyway, they end up going on out. Kenya's leaving and everything like that. And that's that. So they all go their separate ways. And then we got Drew and Sonya. So they got everything. They're like, they got it cleared up. And then this like I said, maybe, maybe not. They got it cleared up. They're like, it is what it is. Let's not fight no more. Let's just move on in peace. Let's go in peace. And then she starts telling her about the whole thing with Ross. And then Drew says with Ross, oh no, girl, you got to give your husband that baby. You have to give the baby to your husband. See, I had to give a baby to my husband. I was like, and Sonya was looking at her like, and that's where we drew to a close. I was like, they ain't done. They ain't done. But that was your proof, positive. Y'all not friends. Just like Candy don't need to be trying to be friends with Marlo. You don't need to be trying to be friends with Drew. Just leave it where it is and just leave it there. Y'all don't see things eye to eye. Y'all don't have what are the makings of a good friendship. Y'all ain't the same. Y'all don't have enough in common. Leave it alone. It ain't got to be no fight, but it ain't never going to be no friendship. None of that. The way she's looking at her like, girl, you is the most ridiculous fool I ever seen, honey, with this drop it with mustard sauce. Girl, get on out of here. I said, oh my God, just a mess. Anyway, that was it for episode 8, season 14 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. It was pretty good. But again, I don't know how smart that was to put that fool to jump that fence onto the show. Hopefully you don't get no more, honey, thinking that they're going to get on to Bravo, honey, jumping fences, honey. They would get on, baby, but they would get on and the storyline would be different, baby. I'd be up on that porch like Grandma clamping, honey. Clack, 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 honey. Target practice. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll talk to y'all later.